So what we have here is a Troy-bilt TB130 lawnmower. It has a Honda engine on it, and it's only 2 or 3 years old. As you can see, it's in pretty nice shape, but it will not start. The customer tried starting it several times. He was able to get it to sputter, but it will not stay running. You know, this is quite a common problem with these newer lawnmowers. Right away, I suspect that we're dealing with a contaminated fuel system. So the first thing I'm going to do is empty the gas tank. So I've already dumped most of the gas out of the gas tank, and I did it simply by tipping the lawnmower over like that. What I've noticed here is, check this out. So here's what we found inside the gas tank. As you can see, that there is water, and we have the gas on top. So somehow we have got a bunch of water into this system here. So we need to clean out the gas tank, the fuel line, and the carburetor. I'm going to tip the mower up like this so we can get a better look at the carburetor, because we do need to take the carburetor float bowl off now and drain out the remaining gas out of the system. And that's the float bowl there. 10mm nut on the bottom of the carburetor. Keep in mind when you loosen that you're going to have some gas come out. So it's a good idea to put a rag under there. Alright, so you take off the bottom bolt, carefully remove the carburetor float bowl, and there is a gasket there. And if you can see, the gasket stayed on the float bowl, which is alright. It'll make it easy to reinstall it. But one thing we want to make sure of is that the float bowl is as clean as possible, so we'll wipe all that down in there. Although it's pretty clean already. So this is the best way I've found to clean and dry out gas tanks. Basically, you just use compressed air and you blow it in there. And you try to make a seal, and if you make a proper seal, you're going to blow all the contaminated fuel through the fuel line and out through the carburetor. So watch, you might see some gas come out of here. Yep, and that's all contaminated fuel, gas with water in it, so we want to dry it out as much as possible. You don't want to make too tight of a seal on the gas tank, because you can blow out the seams in the gas tank. So just enough of a seal so you start getting some fuel that comes out of the carburetor there. And I'm also going to blow out the carburetor area a little bit. So one area I really want to make sure to blow some air up through, or some carburetor cleaner, is the pickup tube there. Up in that pickup tube is the main jet, and there's a tiny little hole that something the size of a speck of sand can plug it up. So however you can get some air or some carburetor cleaner up into that hole, you can clear out that main jet. Sometimes you have to stick a little piece of wire up in there. Might be a good idea to stick this wire up in there and clear out that hole. If you have a mirror, you can look up there and see if the main jet is plugged. I don't think it is. So I'm just directing some of the air up into the nozzle there. So on some of these Honda models, they have a built-in fuel filter inside the carburetor. It's also a good idea to check the air filter real quick, just to make sure that it's not completely oiled up, because that's what prevents air filters from working usually is when they get too oiled up. You can see this one's still nice and clean, no signs of oil. Sometimes people contaminate their air filters by tipping their lawnmower over the wrong way. So we just checked a few things, but we were able to identify exactly what was wrong when we found that gas in there that had the water in it. So we know that's the problem. I see doubt in his face. Let's test this baby out. You notice this lawnmower doesn't rev up very much. There is something that we can do to fix that. If you see this spring here, if we're able to get that spring tightened a little bit, the engine's going to rev up more. So what I do to fix that is I basically just grab it with some pliers and move it up, bend it like that, so that makes that spring a little bit tighter. Now let's listen to see how much it revs up. Can you tell the difference? I think that's going to work a lot better.